Good evening and welcome to Trending Tonight. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. The Jharkhand elections have been fought and won under the shadow of the NRC and CAA debate. But on the show tonight, we'll talk on what impact will the belated outreach to a national outrage is and how it is being received. Rallies were held pro and anti-CAA, still going on in some cities. You saw a massive rally by the Bharatiya Janata Party, a pro-CAA rally in Kolkata, whereas on the other side, you have an anti-CAA rally being held in Chennai by the opposition. How long is this going to continue? And will the belated outreach to a national outrage really going to have some impact? At this moment to discuss this, I've got Vijeta Singh, the Deputy Editor of The Hindu, with me in the studio. Thank you very much, Vijeta. Dr. Geeta Bhatt, an academician and a political analyst with me. Brajesh Kalappa, spokesperson of the Congress Party with me. And in just a short moment, I'll be joined in by Aman Vadut from Kolkata. He's a human rights lawyer. Let me first begin with you, Geeta Bhatt. Belated outreach to a national outrage. How effective is this going to be? Belated outreach.
Well, Sanket, I think it was never expected that the opposition parties that they are going to come out and create such kind of a narrative, trying to relate CAA. Something, an amendment which has been passed by the both houses of the parliament, and along with NRC, which is something which is not there in the place.
You still want to call this an opposition creation?
Yes, the kind of a violence that we have seen in Bihar, what happened?
Violence
we
is one
saw
thing.
that RJD,
There were a lot of
RJD Karyakartas were out there, saying something on the screen and going out, and the whole
purely
kind of
on political violence.
Should
I assume that the government had a belated outreach only because of political violence? Because if that were the case, then the opposition could have used this in any case.
No.
Why just this?
You see, it was just a simple amendment to accommodate not even a very large number of people.
Why did you have students from university after university opposing this?
It was not university after university. There are hardly 4 or 5 university students who had come out to oppose it. There are 800 universities in this country.
Then why
the need? Not just 40
why the need
or 50.
for an outreach?
An outreach because it was seen that the way the opposition parties have come out, the way Ms. Sonia Gandhi came out for a address to the nation, and in which not even once she talked about keeping restraint, maintaining peace, but only trying to, in fact,
am I to assume that the government is buckled under pressure?
Is this the way in which the opposition party leaders, the president of Congress Party should have addressed?
Barring violence, I think opposition parties do exactly this. I mean, when the BJP was in opposition, they did exactly this.
It is not possible that you see what has happened in Uttar Pradesh. There has been firing. How is it that there are people who are firing on the policemen, and it is not just the
there
people
are also
there.
Videos of the policemen themselves destroying cars. That is also pictures coming in from Uttar Pradesh.
Sanket, lot of videos which have been released which very well show that who were the people. They were all masked, and the way they are putting fire on the bike, they are throwing the bikes on the bus to put it on flame. Everything is there. It is that all that is also video recorded.
Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make over
here,
and Vijeta,
is that, one political party which just 5 years back had very different position. CPM had a very different position. Its own. In their own Congress in 2012, they come out and they specifically name that Namashudras, they should actually be given citizen and refuge in the country by naming them, saying that they are from Dalit caste, and now backtracking
Vijeta,
just because it is the government is of some other political party.
The point over here is not the positions that people have taken only on CAA. I think the real protest was that people were reading the CAA with the NRC. And I think we all will have to agree to this fact that there has been a terrible, terrible rethink in the government rank and file as far as introduction of the NRC is concerned. Because first you see very strong statements from the Home Minister, no less. Right? Then you see an explainer, question and answer, 13 questions released by the PIB, right? On common misunderstandings about NRC. Simple things like you can apply your Aadhaar also and get citizenship. And then you've got the Prime Minister from Ramlila Maidan who says that we never even discussed it. Now, in what context was that said, I really don't know. What am I to assume?
So,
And will this outreach work?
I don't know whether the outreach will work or not, but there is, of course, there is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of anxiety. There is a lot of fear among, particularly among the Muslim population of this country. And the Prime Minister sought to address those fears and anxiety yesterday. But if you look at the speeches given by the Home Minister and even the former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister today, that
Shivraj Singh.
NRC will be done after proper consultation. So there is no going back on NRC. Even the statements, the FAQs, the unsigned FAQs which were circulated on WhatsApp. Even
No. This was an official Press Information Bureau release.
Okay, okay, let's accept that.
Yeah.
So even they say that NRC has not been notified yet.
Correct.
It doesn't say that NRC has been put off. So obviously it is in the BJP's manifesto. The Home Minister has said it. Mr. Amit Shah has said it on
The Defence
record.
Minister said it.
On
Yeah.
record on the floor of the House.
Correct.
कि आप मान के चलिए NRC होगा. So how do you wish away these things? There is a pattern, and instead of so.
That's why I call it buckling under pressure
So,
or an
yeah,
outreach.
the fear is the CAA and the NRC package. So the government should come out and clearly say that CAA, the people who will benefit under CAA will not. There will be like clear distinction between CAA and NRC. Nobody is saying that. So this combination, this amalgamation of CA with
Correct,
NRC has
correct,
created a lot of anxiety and fear.
Okay.
And
I just want
problems.
to add something
Sure.
to it.
Very
You know,
quickly.
while NRC is that it was in BJP's manifesto, but it is not that NRC has been brought by BJP. This is what is the perception, you know, that is being created by the
NRC was
opposition
brought in by
party.
the Congress party as part of the Assam Accord, but that was
It
only
is
in
not
the
just
context
that.
of Assam.
It is no. It is there even in 2003 and after that in 2009. It has been there.
There was
By
an
the
amendment.
There was an amendment in which it was brought. It is very much during the Congress time it was brought.
But it never
It is
said,
not so.
No, but the process, the procedure which will be followed. Now you're saying you won't accept passport, you won't accept voter ID card, you won't accept Aadhaar.
Which
Then
we
it
don't
is-
know
you
just
see,
yet,
there
There
because
is no draft on it yet. There is
yes.
nothing
The
on it. It will
confusion
be,
is about
and
That's where the confusion is.
you see,
the
the
cutoff
government
date.
is saying
I will tell
again
you.
and
I'll
again it
tell you
will be
where
with
this confusion is
consultation
coming
that it
from.
will be done.
Brajesh Kalappa, the confusion is coming from the statements made by the then BJP president only and not the Home Minister in the month of May in the context of his various rallies in Bengal, where he said that first CAB will come and all people of other religions will get citizenship, and then NRC will come, where illegal infiltrators will be thrown into the Bay of Bengal. I am not making this up. These are statements in election rallies. Do you think that's the fear? And for the government to now come out and say, don't worry, these words, in a way, for some, ring hollow.
See, I think, Sanket, we'll also have to see what the political fallout is. And we're speaking after the results of Jharkhand have just come out. And I think this is going to be a slap on the face of those people who are trying to divide this country on religious lines. And I think they've been rendered a very solid slap on the face, and I'm very happy to the electorate of Jharkhand. I'm very thankful to them for having taught the people who are trying to create fear amongst the masses. I think a very sound lesson has been taught to them. But importantly, when I heard the Ms. Bhatt speaking about the various rallies and so on and so forth, today in Bengaluru there was an unorganized rally, from various groups. 1 lakh people attended that rally. How many people attended the Prime Minister's rally yesterday? You know, right? So people are emerging in large numbers. I think if you're going to give credit to the Congress party, Ms. Bhatt is doing a great disservice to the BJP by saying that, look, despite being an organized political party, if you're not able to get these numbers, how do unorganized set of people organize such huge numbers? I think the fact is that people are spooked, not just for NRC and CAA. I think people are spooked for the reason that the economy is going in a very, very bad way. I think the economy, the dip in the economy is extremely painful. And and above this, to do something like NRC and CAA is actually going to destabilize whatever we have left. People don't have anything here.
Okay.
There's no employment, there's no jobs, There's no businesses.
Okay,
There's
here,
nothing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
Brijesh, but the
making
point
space.
now I have another point. Aman Wadood, first to you, and then a full round with all the other panelists. Aman, now that the government seems to have backtracked, or is talking more about consultation and not railroading any decision like the NRC, now that you have at least 10 states who have said that they will not implement either the NRC or the CAA, should we see an end to these protests, or will it keep continuing? Because now if it happens, see, now there has been an attempt to reach out, belated, yes, you can argue whether it is enough or not, but an attempt has been made. The government is now stepping off the gas. So for protests, violent ones to happen even now,
So, Sanket,
is going to be counterproductive, right?
well, firstly, the violence are happening only in the BJP ruled state. There are lakhs of people today protesting in Bangalore. There were people protesting in Hyderabad. All over the country in non-BJP ruled state, there were no violence. Violence and deaths are happening only in BJP ruled state. That is point number one. Point number two, why are people so scared, and why they are protesting? Not only because of CAA, but when you read CAA with NPR and NRC, then it becomes really very dangerous. Now you need to understand that NRC will happen based on NPR, which today I read some news that government have already released some 1,000 crores for NPR. And the particulars collected during the NPR, based on those particulars, there will be verification, and the local registrar can doubt any person's citizenship, and then any person can go and object, file an objection against your citizenship.
No, but then the government can turn around and say
CAA with NRC and NPR.
No, the government can turn
Let
around
government,
and say
I
that they
will
have
be
not
more
drafted
than
any
happy.
policy
Let
just
government
yet.
issue a statement.
So this fear is unfounded.
But
That's
see,
exactly what the government is saying.
See, the policy, if at all NRC happen, it will happen based on 2003 citizenship rule, which is an Advani era rule. So that is already there. And today also Shivraj Singh Chauhan is saying that NRC will come. Of course, Prime Minister tried to sort of remove these fears, but he's also confusing with all things. He said there is no detention center. Of course, there are detention center. He is not sounding very convincing.
Okay.
That's what
That's
I
an
feel.
interesting point that
I
has
think
been
the
made.
Prime Minister of this country,
Geeta, but I
the
want to
Prime
come
Minister
to you
should
and Vijeta
assure
one by one.
people that
Yeah,
there will be no
Aman,
NRC.
one moment. Geeta, the Prime Minister said that I don't know where these detention centers are. He says that there is no discussion on NRC since 2014. You really think that the people will believe this?
Well, you see, I mean,
Do you believe this?
Well, Sanket, you see, I mean, the panelist himself has made it very, very, very clear by saying that all this, the violence is taking place only in BJP ruled state, making it very clear that how it is being managed and orchestrated and not happening in other states.
Now my question.
Yes. Second point is that saying that it is not convincing is something which few people may have their eyes. Those who already have their
But then there are detention centers in this country.
You see, their detention centers which are there, they have been in Assam particularly, where there was a, you
See,
cannot
this nuance
consider
he did not
Assam.
talk about.
You cannot consider Assam, compare Assam with the rest of the
Okay,
country.
so you're
because
saying that for
in
them to
Assam,
exist in
things were-
Assam is fine.
No, it is not something fine. It is something which was done
Mandated
as
by
per
the Supreme
by the
Court.
Supreme Court.
Vijeta,
It has
what
nothing
is
to
the-
do
what
with
is
the
the
politi-
update?
with
No, so
with
there
the
are
government.
so you're saying there are
and
no other
government has
detention
no
centers.
role to play per se in doing the NRC.
Fine.
You know it very
Okay,
well.
fine. Vijeta, an update on the detention centers.
So there, as of now, there are 6 detention centers in Assam. 10 more are supposed to come up. And this is all as per government records.
Yeah.
3 are there in Delhi. 1 is coming up in Karnataka. And we have to know why these detention centers are coming up, because in January, basically in September, Harsh Mandar, civil activist Harsh Mandar, he moved a petition in Supreme Court regarding the abysmal conditions in Assam's detention centers.
Yeah.
So in a reply to the petition, MHA said that they are going to create, they are coming up with this manual, because Harsh Mandar pointed out that there was no difference between jails in Assam and detention centers in Assam. So the detainees are not convicted criminals. So what do you do about it? So since there was no clarity on it, so MHA said, okay, we'll make a guideline. In January, they issued the guidelines and they asked all the states to acquire land, government land or whatever, and they laid out specifications.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So there are detention centers,
There
and the
are
government has
detention
acknowledged
centers.
it on record to a question that there are detention centers. That's point number one. Point number two, to say that there is no discussion on the NRC. Geeta, but you really think that people will accept this reply and not question the government? And that's why I wouldn't say conclude, but I infer that these words of the Prime Minister may ring hollow to a few, because he has been saying a lot of things which may not be factually correct. For
See,
instance, that we have not discussed NRC at all. Of course you have.
You see, discussing NRC, I mean, saying that it is there in the manifesto, or saying that we are going to come forth with it, and actually tabling a draft, discussing it, circulating among, it is
that
not something
nuance
which
did
is
not
not
come across
you see,
when he-
CAA is something not which has been it's some dictatorial order. It has come because it has been duly
Okay,
passed
so
by
you are
the two
saying
houses
that
of
when
the
the Prime
Parliament.
Minister says,
So,
when the
it
Prime
has to
Minister
come
says
through
that
a
we have
due
not even
process.
discussed about it,
It
he
is-
actually meant that we have not formulated a policy to implement
Yes, it needs to be there and it will be discussed,
So
know.
this
There has to
nuance
be a
has
draft.
not been
The
brought
draft
about.
is not there anywhere. I mean,
You don't
Very
need a
quickly,
draft
Vijayata.
the
because-
opposition parties are coming. They are pointing fingers on the government, accusing them of bringing NRC. But none of them has come out with a draft to show that this is what is
Vijayata,
going to
very
happen.
quickly.
You don't need to know, you don't need to come up with a draft to conduct NRC. You just need a notification. Two, NPR is the precursor of NRC, so a lot of data will be conducted through NPR. And third, if the states say that they won't do NPR, it doesn't hold much water, because the government just made some amendments where they have empowered central government to make rules on NPR, so they can depute central government officers to
So the
conduct the
state saying
exercise.
no really does
Yeah,
not
it
hold
doesn't
water.
matter.
So does that mean that it already existed because there is because
Yes,
as
it was
per this
done in
information,
2010
it
and
was,
15, yes.
It is so it is already existed. It is not something new which
Okay,
the government is
interesting.
The
bringing.
new
It
thing
has
is the
already
cutoff
been there.
date. What will be the cutoff date according to
31st
Constitution of
December
India?
2014,
No, that is for CAA. We are talking about NRC. There's a difference.
which we do not know.
In Assam, it
Because
was 1971. What will be the cutoff date?
In the nationwide NRC, we do not know. These things
Yes.
are yet to be finalized.
that is
right?
where the
That's
confusion
position.
lies.
Correct.
Yes.
So, Brajesh Kalappa, first of all, Geeta Bhatt explained to us the nuance behind the Prime Minister's statement about NRC not being discussed at all since 2014. Do you agree with this nuance?
I don't think anybody else in the country besides Ms. Bhatt has understood that extremely nuanced statement of the Prime Minister. Most people take the Prime Minister's words at face value, and when he says that NRC has not been discussed at all, and the fact that there are no detention centers, I think it looks like the Prime Minister is in the habit of lying, and it doesn't look beyond that, because I think the fact that there are detention centers, in fact even in Karnataka, a list of 35 detention centers have been given to the State High Court, and Vijayata ji has just mentioned in regard to the All India situation. I think as far as detention centers, the Prime Minister was totally faulty in saying what he said. Insofar as NRC is concerned, then probably he doesn't know what the Prime Minister, what the Home Minister has been saying, and what the President of India has been saying. I think it reflects very poorly on whether the Prime Minister has been abreast of what is happening in the country.
Do you sense some form of nervousness in the government in being able to communicate? I mean, this is the government, or these are the people that we are talking about who are known for their on-point messaging. On point. You can never go wrong.
No, but, yes, Sanket, the government is in panic mode. It's clearly in panic mode. You know, in several states, whether it's BJP ruled or whether it's national capital region of Delhi, 144 has been introduced. CRPC 144.
Okay, Aman, very quickly.
Why does a government have to impose 144
Sure.
you know, in panic-stricken mode?
By the way,
And-
Section
and
144 is
two
imposed
what
by
the
all
Prime
governments.
Minister has now stated.
Even Congress
it's
government.
clearly a U-turn from his otherwise very
Absolutely.
aggressive stance.
Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Yes, Aman Vadut. Aman, quick last word.
Well, I think there should be a categorical and unambiguous statement from the Prime Minister that there will not be a nationwide NRC. and the BJP leaders should stop this fear mongering on NRC. NRC should be a closed chapter, as simple as that.
Okay. Thank you so much, all of you all, for joining us. Clearly, we haven't heard the last of this yet, and there will be more protests. Today, we saw a Congress protest, and how long is this going to continue? One really doesn't know. But will the government start its outreach more actively? We do know that the central government plans, or at least the BJP plans, to reach out to 3 crore families. How's that going to turn out, and will it really tilt the fortunes in favor of the ruling party? We'll know in 10 days, which is the timeline. Thank you so much.